Good afternoon, everyone. So,
Good
what we
afternoon,
have seen
ma'am.
in good afternoon. So, what we have seen in the last lecture. Actually, today I am have a work from home and I haven't tablet with me. So, please cooperate. So tomorrow I will maybe I will repeat this. So, I think in the last lecture we have seen the result that determinant of any orthogonal matrix is plus or minus one. Okay, this result we have seen. Now let us go for the next one, that is show that the finite rotations of the rigid body are not commutative but infinite decimal rotations are commutative. Okay. What is the question? Show that the finite rotations of the rigid body are not commutative. This already we have seen. Right. If you in the last lecture I have shown you that you can take any two matrices A and B. So if you take any two matrices A and B, the product of these two matrices is not going to obey the commutative property. AB is always not equal to BA. Okay. Next, what we have to show? But the infinitesimal rotations are commutative. Okay, we have to show that the infinitesimal rotations are commutative. We have to show that the infinitesimal rotations are commutative. Now, for that, what we have to do? We have to do the transformations of the coordinate axis to be infinitesimal if the infinitesimal means what? Very, very small change, which is not able to see from a naked eye. Right? First, we have seen what is the effect if you have a finite rotations. For finite rotations, we have obtained the matrix A and like that. Okay, and then we have seen that what will happen if A into B we are going to find out. That is, A into B is not equal to B into A. The transformations of the coordinate axis is said to be infinitesimal if the component of a vector are almost in the both the coordinate system. That means if xi and xi dash so we have the coordinate systems xi and xi dash are the component of the vector r bar in s and s dash coordinate system, right? In the last lecture, I have drawn you the two sketches. First, we have a x, y, z, and then after rotation, we have another coordinate system, say x dash, y dash, and z dash, right? So now let us see what will happen. That means the transformation equations which we have written here, right? What is the transformation equations we have written is, we have written x1 dash is equal to some a11 x1 x2 dash is equals to some uh, coordinates so on. So here what is the change? If you remember, x1 dash we have written as a11 x1 a12 x2 plus a13 x3, right? Like this we have written for finite rotation. Next, x2 dash we have written as a21 x1 a22 x2 a23 x3 like this. But now we are in the case of infinitesimal rotations. If we are in case of infinitesimal rotation, you can see here we have written x1 dash in terms of x1 plus some term, right? It is not a complete rotation. It is infinitesimal means what? Very, very small rotations, right? So here we have written x1 dash is equals to x1 plus This epsilon is a notation we always use for our very small increment like this. Just like in the definition of a continuity, uniform continuity, we are using epsilon and delta for our very small numbers, right? So x1 plus epsilon 1 x1, epsilon 1 x2 plus epsilon 1 x3, right? What do you mean by these things? That means whatever x1 dash, the new coordinate system you are going to obtain, it has a very small increment in x1, x2, x3. Similarly, we have written for x2 dash. What is x2 dash? x2 dash is equals to x2 plus epsilon 21 x1, epsilon 22 x2, epsilon 23 x3, and so on, right? So in general, I can write these equations as xi dash is equals to xi plus, the fourth line you can see, xi dash is equals to xi plus summation over j epsilon ij xt, right? So these equations, instead of writing in a big format, we can write in the form of a compact form. Or in another way, you can see these equations we have already written, but it is not xi plus. इथे epsilon ij चा ऐवजी आपल्याला काय होता तिथे aij, right? Everyone remember this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here now by using Einstein summation convection, now you have to search what is Einstein summation convention. So what is Einstein summation convention? In which if suppose we have very small increments, so this summation we can remove. Okay, what is the summation over j? Epsilon ij. Now instead of having that summation epsilon ij, we can remove that summation epsilon ij. Why this is so? Because summation is useful only if we are having very large quantity, but this epsilon itself show that there is very small increment or very small rotation. So by using that Einstein summation convection, we can remove that summation over j. Summation is only taken over repeated index j. Then we can write this equation as epsilon ij xj. Now here you can see instead of xi, for xi we have included one more term, delta ij xj, right? Why we have done this? So that we can adjust the term such that xj we can take out outside, right? Because we have to write the equation in terms of xi dash is equal to some matrix is equal to xj, just like an equation 1. Okay, we have to write the term in the form of equation 1. So for that we have adjusted delta ij. So how to adjust delta ij? That means simply you have to run the summation over j, somewhere j equal to I, you will get delta I, and we know that delta I is 1, and hence as j is equal to I, you will get the same equation just like the last one, xi dash is equals to xi plus epsilon ij xj. Okay, Einstein summation जे लिहिलंय ना त्याच्या वरची इक्वेशन मिळणार आहे, राईट, आफ्टर रनिंग द समेशन ओव्हर j. So simply we have adjusted delta ij in such a way that you have to write down the equation in terms of equation 1. Okay, so you can see here what is I. I is equal to that identity matrix. I equal to j असेल तर 1 येणार आहे, otherwise it is 0. In the last lecture we have seen that a 3 cross 3 matrix, that is, we can say it is a unit matrix. What is epsilon? Epsilon is epsilon ij. So now this I plus e xj, right? Equation 1 you can see the simply the terms we have written, what is I and what is epsilon. Thus the above equation can be written as x dash is equal to I plus epsilon x. That means we have written the transformation from x to x dash. Okay. Now here what is I plus E? I plus E is a matrix of transformation, but in case of infinitesimal rotation. But earlier we have seen that a very finite rotations. Okay, if we are having a finite rotation, then it is okay. But here in case of infinitesimal rotations, we get what is a matrix? I plus E is a matrix of infinitesimal rotations. Okay. आधी कसं भेटत होतं आपल्याला x dash is equals to some matrix A is into x, which means that which is a transformation from x to x dash. But now we are not getting a matrix A. Instead of A, we are getting I plus E. What is I? I is a 3 cross 3 identity matrix. Epsilon is a matrix which is obtained by very infinitesimal rotation. Now next we have to prove that infinitesimal rotations are commutative. Okay. Now we have to show that infinitesimal rotations are commutative.
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Yes, आता येते का आवाज? Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
madam.
ma'am. Now you are audible.
Yes, okay. So here we have obtained the matrix I plus epsilon E in case of infinitesimal rotation. But you can see here we have written the same thing for finite rotations. Finite rotations of rigid body are not commutative since we can have a property of a matrix multiplication that A1 into A2 is not equal to A2 into A1. Now here, just now we have obtained a matrix that is I plus epsilon is a matrix of a rotation, that means a transformation which we have obtained from x to x dash. आताच हे solve केलं होतं ना. So instead of having a1 e2 we have to write it for I plus epsilon 1 I plus epsilon 2. Okay, let us multiply these two and then we will multiply a2 a1, that is I plus epsilon 2 into I plus epsilon 1. So we will observe what is a case for a infinitesimal rotations. Okay, have you understood up to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Here we have to just multiply this. We can do a multiplication. I into I will be I square, which is again an identity matrix. I into epsilon 2, it is epsilon 2 I. Epsilon 1 into I, it will be epsilon 1. Then multiplication of epsilon 1, epsilon 2. Now you can see that this epsilon is used for very, very small increment. What will be the multiplication of epsilon with epsilon? Suppose epsilon is 0.01. Okay, epsilon is a notation used for very small number. So what will happen if we have multiplication of these two? It will be again a very smaller one. So we can write this equation as I plus epsilon 1 in plus epsilon 2. Okay, neglecting higher powers of epsilon 1 and epsilon 2. Why we are going to neglect? Because these are very, very nearer to 0 and then we can neglect. Now let us consider the second part in which I plus epsilon 2 into I plus epsilon 1. Just like A2 into A1. First we have found A1 into A2. Okay, now again we have to multiply I into I, then I into epsilon 1, then epsilon 2 into I, epsilon 2 into epsilon 1. And then again you can say that epsilon 1 into epsilon 2 will be again very, very nearer to 0 and hence we get the equation 2. From 1 and 2 we can say I plus epsilon 1 into I plus epsilon 2 is equals to I plus epsilon 2 into I plus epsilon 1. It shows that infinitesimal rotations are commutative. Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, inverse of a matrix for infinitesimal rotation. How to find out inverse is this identity will be as it is I plus epsilon, I minus epsilon. Now let us multiply what will happen. Just like A into A inverse. A inverse is A into A inverse will be identity matrix. So what we should obtain this I plus epsilon, I minus epsilon, we should obtain it is equal to I. So simply we have to multiply, you will get I into I is I square, which is again identity matrix, I into minus epsilon, I into plus epsilon and minus epsilon square. Again it is very, very near to 0, we can neglect. And then identity matrix multiplied with any matrix is same matrix epsilon. Right now? Knowing this property,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so these two get cancelled and we get the resultant is I plus epsilon into I minus epsilon is identity matrix, which we can say that these two are inverse of each other. That means A into A inverse is equal to identity, which means A is inverse of A inverse and A inverse is the inverse of A. Okay, now we'll go for the next point, that is space set of x's and body set of x's. Okay, what do you mean by space set of x's and body set of x's? The axes of coordinate which are fixed in the space are called the space set of x's, and the coordinate which are body are called the body set of x's. Simply definitions. Now let us evaluate what is the space set of x's and body set of x's. Okay. Um, Let me show you with the diagram. Awesome. we can draw say this is what the coordinate system that I have fixed out. Suppose this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. Okay, this is a coordinate system that I have fixed out, right? Suppose I have some rigid body. Suppose some rigid body is there, and suppose I am going to fix anything here. So this is a x, y, and z. This is x, this is y, and this is z. Now, what is the difference in these two? Suppose I have this system, and this is a system which is fixed in the rigid body. Okay, so this I can say it is space set of x's, and this is body set of x's. What is the difference between these two is the axes of a coordinate system are fixed in the space are called space set of x's, and the coordinate system which is fixed in the rigid body is called as a body set of x's. Okay, now you can see here we have this space set of x's, right? We can measure any distance. You can measure any distance from here, and these are body set of x's which we have taken all this x, y, z 3D space in our body is itself, right? So as I told you that you can plot a 3D space anywhere in the world, right? असं कुठे डिफाइन नाही आहे ना. So your origin should be shifted to some particular place. Say if it is origin is shifted to Kolkata itself, then you have to measure all the distances from Kolkata. But here we can measure any distances from any point. So here we have fixed out the coordinate system, and after rotating this, it will be affecting only this rigid body. But here, if you can see this one, this is a coordinate system which is fixed out in the space. It is not having any restriction, any rigid body here also. So if you are going to rotate, it will not have any effect. So no doubt here this rigid body, the position of rigid body related to two coordinate system may be changing. Just like suppose the next coordinate is say next system is say x dash, and here is say y dash, and suppose here is z dash. Okay, so the position of body is fixed out, but what do you mean by rotating this one is if suppose body is here, it will be shifted to some another position, right? It may be shifted here, right? But here, if you are going to rotate this, it will be rotated with body itself. Have you understood what is space set of x's and body set of x's?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
That means a space set of x's means what? Which are fixed out in the space, and the body set of x's means the set of x's which are fixed in the body. Let us go for the next one which is very important for us is what is Eulerian angle? Actually, the question may be like this: define Eulerian angle and obtain the matrix of transformation from space set of x's to body set of x's, or in terms of Eulerian angles, right? We have to obtain the transformation from space set of x's to body set of x's in terms of Eulerian angle. Show that the matrix is orthogonal and hence find the inverse. Okay. What is the question? First, you have to define the Eulerian angle. Then we have to obtain the matrix of transformation from space set of x's to body set of x's, right? आधी जे फिक्स असेल ते space set of x's असणार आहे. So if you are going to rotate it, then it is called a body set of x's. Now we have to obtain what is the matrix of rotation for transformation from space set of x's to body set of x's. दोन्ही मध्ये काहीतरी फरक असणार आहे ना. So now we have to find out that matrix, and we have to show that that matrix is orthogonal matrix. And next we have to find out its inverse. Okay, what are the things we have to do? First you have to define Euler angle, then find the matrix from space set of x's to body set of x's, then show that that matrix is orthogonal, then find its inverse. Four things we have to do. Let us start one by one. First we will define the Eulerian angles. What are Eulerian angles? These are three successive angles of rotation about specified axis are performed in a specific order, which are used as generalized coordinate to define the orientation of a rigid body with one point fixed, are called as a Eulerian angles. Now let us see one by one what are the Eulerian angles. What are these angles? These are three successive angles of rotation. Okay, how to find out this? These are three successive angles of rotation. Just now I have shown you that we have the coordinate system, say x, y, z. Three successive angles of rotation. No? For that, say this is what our original x, y, z. Okay, if I perform a rotation through an angle, say theta, so it may be with x dash, y dash, and this is say z dash, right? Say here angle is theta, here is angle theta, and again theta, right? So whatever the coordinate system initially we have, it has been changed from x, y, z to x dash, y dash, z dash. Similarly, if suppose I have performed one more rotation, say here is say angle phi. Again, if I perform one more rotation, right? Suppose instead of x dash, now it will be x double dash, right? First we have x, x dash, x double dash. So three successive rotations. First we have to perform a rotation through an angle theta, then perform the rotation through an angle phi, then perform the rotation through some more angle, right? So whatever the successive rotation we are going to perform, these are our Eulerian angles, right? First is say theta, phi, psi. These are angles of the rotation. So if you are going to have a rotation like this, and then what is the condition for this rotation is, you can see here the condition for rotation is one axis should be fixed out. Okay, three successive angles of rotation about a specified axis. What do you mean by about a specified axis? That means first you have to fix out one axis, and then fixing that axis you have to rotate. Okay, and how to rotate this I will show later on. And these are performed in a specific order. What is a specific order? That means suppose I am going to fix the x-axis and then I will rotate y and z. Right? काय करावं लागेल आपल्याला? Assume that we are having 3 pen. Right? Assume that we are having 3 pen and then we have to fix one pen. Fixing one pen, you have to rotate the two other. Right? Assume that whatever in the room you are sitting there. So somewhere you can have a corner for that room, and in that you can assume three coordinate x, y, z. Right? First you have to fix out x-axis. Okay, x-axis ला तसंच ठेवून खालचा जे प्लेन आहे त्याला रोटेट करायचं. करू शकतो आपण?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so same thing we have to do. Right? Here we have the specified axis are performed in a specific order. What do you mean by specified axis and performed in a specific order? Means first we have to fix x-axis, then we have to fix y-axis, then we have to fix the z-axis, which are used to, that means these theta, phi, psi, that means those rotation we are going to find out. and after rotation we'll have some an angle. So these are used as a generalized coordinate to define the orientation of a rigid body. Just like we have seen that for a rigid body, only 6 degrees of freedom are sufficient, or to define a rigid body, only 3 non-linear coordinates are sufficient. Why 3 non-linear coordinate? Because if you are going to add one more coordinate, it is not going to add any number to your degrees of freedom. राइट, पहिला कोऑर्डिनेट फिक्स केल्यानंतर किती कोऑर्डिनेट फिक्स होणार आहे 3, राइट. And then if you go for the second coordinate, we need only 2 coordinate for this. Rather we can say 2 degrees of freedom, because the distance of second from first coordinate is fixed out. Similarly for third one, so 3 plus 2 plus 1, total 6 degrees of freedom will be there for any type of a rigid body with any number of particles. So here also these theta, phi, psi are working as a generalized coordinate. Okay, with the rigid body with 1 point fix are known as a Eulerian angle, and these are denoted by theta, phi and psi. Okay. Okay, next point, what we have to find out, matrix of transformation. No doubt this will not be completed in this lecture, that how to find out the matrix of transformation. For that we'll see a small idea for that. Let one point of the body is fixed, right? Body set of x's hai na. So first we are going to fix out the one point in the body. So as I told you that there are 2 types of motion, translation and rotation. Translation motion कधी होणार आहे? Suppose you are going to shift a chair. Chair उचलून कुठेतरी ठेवलं तर काय असणार आहे ते translation motion. Okay. With a fixed distance in a specified direction, we are going to move the object. Okay. But the translation motion will be absent in case of you are going to fix the body. बॉडी इज वन कोऑर्डिनेट. अगर आप बॉडी का सिर्फ एक कोऑर्डिनेट फिक्स कर रहे हो, इट मींस दैट द ट्रांसलेशन मोशन इज absent. Okay, so if you are going to fix out the one point of the body, then there will be only rotational motion. So you can see here the xyz axis, x dash, that means xyz is now x dash, y dash and z dash. X, y, z are space set of axes, and x dash, y dash, z dash are body set of axes. X, y, z हे फिक्सच असणार आहे ना, इनिशियली आपण फिक्स केले. X dash, y dash, z dash means what? These are body set of axes. That means these are obtained after rotating body. Body ला rotate केल्यानंतर z dash, a new set of axes we have obtained. Now simply we have to find out the relation between x, y, z and x dash, y dash, z dash. Okay. So now let us go one by one. First we have to find out rotation through an angle phi. Then we will find out rotation through an angle theta. Then we will find out rotation through an angle psi. Okay, one by one we have to go. This is very large theorem. We have to go. Have you understood up to this what we have to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now here you can see first rotation through an angle phi about a z axis. Okay. First rotation through an angle phi about a z axis. What do you mean by rotation through an angle phi about a z axis? I will show you. find out rotation, say through an angle phi about a z-axis. Okay, rotation is through an angle phi about a z-axis. Okay, through an angle phi and about a z-axis. About a z-axis. So let me write down, let me show you the diagram. About a z-axis means what? I am going to fix the z-axis and I am going to perform the rotation of x and y. Z is going to be fixed out. Okay, suppose this is x. Say this is y. And say this is z. Okay, what is the question? We are going to fix out z. That means z is equal to z dash. After rotation also z must be at the same position. Okay. Just like in the room where you are sitting, you have to fix one axis and then you have to perform the rotation. Tela dharun. That means we have to fix out one coordinate. That means we have to put it in our hand, or rather we can have the 3 pin, having a 3 pin in the form of xyz axis, and then you have to rotate by fixing one coordinate. Z is equal to z dash. So हे fix केल्यानंतर आपल्याला rotation perform. So here it will be about x will be changed to x dash, y will be changed to y dash, right? So what is the question here? It is a rotation through, say, angle phi. So initially we have x, y, z. Now we have x dash, y dash and z dash. But simply this is one rotation. We have to perform the rotation like this for 3 times. For phi, theta and psi. So for that we perform the rotation through an angle phi, fixing the z coordinate. Okay. Now you can keep this figure as initially, suppose we have x, y, z. And the next coordinate system we can have z is z dash as it is. The another coordinate system we can write, this is x dash, y dash and z dash, and this is x, y, z. Okay. First we have to fix out z is equal to z dash and then we have to rotate. Now I can't do anything for showing you 3D, because if it is a physical lecture I can show how to find out this coordinate. Now for this time you have to imagine that, or you can take 3 pin, fixing one pin you have to rotate the another 2 pin, and then you can see what is the change. No doubt whatever the angle is there, xyz coordinate system असेल आपला 3D coordinate, so in which we can say the angle between xyz is 90 degree. Here also in the x dash, y dash, z dash, again the angle will be 90 degree. But in this figure you cannot able to see the angle between x dash, y dash, z dash is 90 degree because it is in 2D. 3D ला आपण 2D मध्ये दाखवतो, त्यामुळे ते दिसत नाही. So we can see here angle between x dash and z dash हे 90 degree दिसणार नाही हा. So here also this coordinate system whatever we are drawing, it is also not correct now, because angle between x, y is also x and y coordinate is fixed out. But what about the angle between yz and zx? It is not a 90 degree. So this is what is simply the thing which we are going to try the 3D space we are going to fix in the 2D plane. So hence it is not possible to show directly that how it is looking in the 3D space. Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So simply we have performed a rotation through an angle phi through fixing out our z axis. Z is equal to z dash. We have to fix out, and then we have to perform the rotation. Okay. That we have to write down the transformation for that. Okay, for writing these transformation, what we have to do, you can see here thoda blurred hai. Z is equal to z dash, x is transformed to x dash, y is transformed to y dash, right? Z is equal to z dash. Now we will write down first transformation, that is x1 is equal to y1 and z1. X1 is equal to, again it will be in terms of xy z. Just like we have written for x1 is equal to a11 x1, a12 x2, a13 x3, right? So what are the coefficient? I told you that these are direction cosine. So now what is angle between x1 and x? You can see what is an angle between x and x1, or you can say x dash. As we are performing.
Yes,
हाँ थोड़ा x dash च्या जागी आपण x1 पण सांगू शकतो ना. First rotation आहे, so that's why it is x1. What is an angle between x and x1?
ma'am.
Phi.
Phi. Okay, you can see the image here also. These two is phi, so it is cos phi. Right. Next is angle between x1 and y. What is an angle between x1 and y? You can say that what is an angle between x1 and y1? x1 y1 मध्ये काय angle
90.
असणार? 90. आता हे x1 आणि y मध्ये विचारलेत ना. सो y is earlier ना. x1 y1 च्या अगोदर y आहे इथे. इथे y असणार आहे, इथे y dash असणार आहे. So it will be simply 90 minus 5. Next, x1 and z. x1 and z, y, because z is equal to z1. And what will be angle between x1 and z1? Whenever you are going to write this transformation equation, simply keep in mind that angle between x1, y1, z1 हे फिक्सच असणार आहे. काय असणार आहे ते angle 90 degree. And angle between x, y, z हे फिक्स असणार आहे. Angle between x, y, z it is 90 degree. Okay, here we want to find out angle between x1 and z1. But z is nothing but your z1 first rotation. Okay, first rotation ला z हे फिक्स केलं होतं ना. So what is an angle between z1 is 90 degree. So cos of 90 will be the direction cosine. Are you getting the first equation?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Similarly, we have to write for y1. Okay, now first we'll see what is an angle between y1 and x. Okay, what is an angle between y1 and x? You can see here y1 here and x is here. Okay, so you can find out from here y1 and x. What is an angle between y1 and x1?
90 plus 5.
9. y1 and x1 I have asked you. x1 आणि y1 मध्ये
90.
90. आता इथे 90 प्लस झालं ना इथे. So here is y1 and we have to find out angle between y1 and x. So it is 90 plus 5. Next angle between y1 and y. y1 आणि y दोन्ही मध्ये 90 simply phi चा difference आहे ना. They both are rotated to an angle phi. If they are rotated through an angle between y1 and y is phi. Next angle between y1 and z. Okay, but z is equal to z1. z अगर z1 है तो y1 और z1 के बीच में एंगल क्या होगा? एक कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम, न्यू कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम x1 y1 z1 न्यू कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम है. So what is the angle between x1 and z1? That means corresponding angle is 90. Similarly, we can write for z1. Okay, for z1 angle between z1 and x, but z1 is nothing but your z because we have fixed out. So angle between x and z. सांगा angle between x 90 असणार आहे. Y and Z, it is also 90. Angle between Z and Z1. Z is equal to Z1. So angle between Z and Z1 is 0. Z is coincide with Z1. Okay, so hence we can have this transformation equations. Okay. The next two transformation we will see in the next lecture. Okay. So what we have seen, Eulerian angles are three successive angles of rotation. First we have to perform a rotation through phi, then theta and psi, fixing the coordinates. Okay. First we have to fix out z and then x and y. So in this way we will fix out the coordinate one coordinate axis and then we will perform the rotation. Okay. Are you getting how to perform this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in the next lecture, we will perform a rotation through an angle theta, then rotation through an angle phi, and then we will go for finding the matrix. After finding matrix, we have to show that that is orthogonal matrix. After showing it is orthogonal, we have to find out its inverse. Okay. Now we are tending to 0 for completion of syllabus. After this, we have only 2 to 3 theorems. So after this, we have this one, 1, 2, this 3. Only 4 theorems, 4 to 5 theorems are remaining. So you must be studying for your theory exam. The date for the theory exam is also declared. So start doing a steady your study and so that you can score the good marks. Okay? अभ्यास करतायत ना सगळे?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You can leave the meeting and you can join the next lecture. Thank you.